And we're back.
Hi! Third installment of Doki Doki Literature Club. So we left off on Yuri's route, her first route, and we're just gonna go into this. Same warnings as before.
She tells me that there is a way to get to Monica, which was my first choice. Not that the other three are not beautiful and amazing in their own way, but I just want to date Monica. So, okay. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same thing with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But holding it like this...
Sorry.
We're huddled together even closer than before.
Watch her eyes, by the way, while you're not reading.
It's actually kind of distracting me. As if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Okay, she's looking at me now.
Yep.
Are you ready?
That was mine. Are you ready?
Oh,
To turn the page.
Sorry.
Don't be a pervert, Jackson. Gosh.
I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I didn't know how I'd be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. Wait, was her cheeks like that before? Or?
Blushed? Yeah, she's been blushing this whole time.
Okay, my thumb gently lets go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
You think so? How does she?
Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways. But she also second-guesses herself all the time. Like, all of the things that she says and does. Like, she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms.
I see.
Wait, what was going on for a minute there?
What? What did you notice?
I don't know, it was like something weird, like...
Her eyebrow moving?
Maybe. I don't know. Yuri remains silent for a moment. Like, what was I looking for?
Huh?
What was I looking for?
I just had to look at her eyes because a lot of people didn't notice that her eyes move. Because a lot of times in visual novels like this, they keep the same,
Oh, it was just looking back and forth. I thought there was like eyes were like.
I mean, there could have been something.
Like her eyes, like slowly changing color and turning red or something like that.
I told you, I'm gonna tell a warning when things get creepy. But Jackson, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. So that's embarrassing that you think that.
Wait. I didn't mean that in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really don't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute.
What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long.
Oh, Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought.
Is that all right, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's nothing. It's fine.
Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read with you?
I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way.
In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know?
That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. More homework!
Yay! Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book. And if only that was true. If only you could just, like, remember the page number.
And not, like, dog ear it or anything.
Yeah, I did that all the time.
Yeah, I always had bookmark.
Okay, anyway, a mental note and slip it back into my bag.
By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night?
Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before.
Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait!
Sayuri and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayuri's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers on a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sat. Nazuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself.
Here we go. So whose poem do you want to read first?
Okay, whatever one gets me to Monica. Okay?
Okay.
She's
so
the
do you want to go with Monica then? We get to read all of them, but who do you want to read first?
Oh, we read all of them?
Yeah.
Does it matter? What order?
Which one do you want to pick?
That's not the answer to the question.
It's my answer that I'm giving you. Since you want Monica, let's go with Monica first.
Okay, Monica! Yay! I should start with Monica.
I'll read the poems, by the way.
Yesterday, she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting in effort.
Hi, Jackson. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
I think Sayuri may have some problems. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring those things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled. So just remain uncomfortable until it becomes the new comfortable.
Yep. Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Especially because it's just a bunch of random words on a page. Don't worry, Jackson. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
I don't know if I like the wording of that.
I'm grinning so hard right now.
What the fuck is she? Oh, okay, you know what? I know what she is. She is hot. So I'm going for that.
Alright, so read.
Yeah, that's true. I don't care if she's like Hitler's daughter or something. I'm going for
daughter!
I hand Monica my poem.
Mm-hmm. Great job, Jackson.
Will she like it no matter what?
Yeah, she does. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. Should have said that weirder? I think I said it with enough maturity. I could have said it really way worse.
It's really
metaphorical. Yeah, because it's just a bunch of words on a page. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easy.
Wait, why didn't you think that I would go for something so deep?
She didn't think you would go for that.
Okay, it's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That's a spirit.
Me!
That way, it always counts when I put in some effort.
Yep. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Yeah, we picked it for her. Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness.
Okay, so this actually, showing it to Monica actually helps us, like,
Yeah,
learn...
she gives exposition.
Alright.
Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively. Both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which is assuming Yuri has at this point. I can't read. I never really asked, though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet.
You know, like you sounded like you just read her stats. That's like a level of understanding.
I'm still gritting so hard.
What the fuck is she?
Don't worry so much about that. Why are the lines so perfectly placed?
What is she?
You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things.
I want to do Monica because she's not an option.
Yeah, everybody wants to. They're just like, why can't we do Monica? So we want Monica.
I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot.
Ooh.
It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. So we should probably show this to Yuri after Monica. That's
okay. I'd love to see you try new things. She'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. You know, bondage, other sexual positions that I can't think of at the moment. I love how my mind immediately went to bondage. Everyone else might be a little bit biased toward their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good.
You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good.
Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know.
I see. Well, let's read it then.
Oh, okay. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend, I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for... I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. So, what do you think?
I think I should have joined the anime club.
Too late, you're stuck here.
It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful.
What was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit.
An epiphany?
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that, because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day! Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something done on the down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll get a big dark puddle of ink. Usually if you move it too much, you'll get a big puddle.
If you press down the ballpoint.
You didn't get my joke. I made a dick joke. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Monica teaching us how to do a hand job. Yay! Sex education.
Yuri next. Hey Yuri. It's like the hey Reefy Jack does.
Oh my gosh.
As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Sorry. Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up converging her whole...
Converging. Covering.
Covering. I'm...
Converging her whole face. It's okay. He's going to hate me.
You really don't do any... You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have?
None!
Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again.
Well, I know that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words of the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened.
I'm learning so much about literature today.
Yeah!
I'm gonna regret this, aren't I?
Keep going.
Once Yuri finds her train of thought, as if her demeanor totally changes. Changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert.
Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. I clicked you. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example, and trying new things, and speaking so fucking much!
My God.
I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though.
Biased? How?
Well, never mind.
Fine.
I shouldn't be talking about people like that.
Okay, so now...
Sorry.
So now she's nervous again.
Yep.
Okay. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself or to me or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Please do.
I'd love to share my thought process.
Oh, I'd love to share my thought process behind it. That was my fault.
It's fine. Yuri smiles dreamily as if it's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club?
Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time, the last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back.
You know, I realized I could take a poetry class completely copy every single one of these and probably get an A.
Yeah, but they'd probably ask you what your motivation was, and you'd be like,
They give the
Doki
motivation.
Doki Literature Club!
They're giving me the
And
motivation.
depending on who's in the poetry class, they might actually recognize it.
Okay, go.
I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. It was calligraphy. You realize that, right? It was
Yes,
perfect
I know.
cursive.
What? I wasn't thinking that at all.
But it took you a long time to read. Oh! You're slow, bro!
Wait, is she like passive aggressively insulting me?
Kind of. I think, like, she's either knows that she's kind of doing that, or she's just so insecure that she doesn't realize it as you're slow. Okay.
Well, because I'm getting kind of like the slight vibe that she may like be jealous or something that I'm good at writing.
Everyone, yeah, she's a know-it-all, and she gets, like, really weird when she doesn't know what she's talking about.
What?
Didn't you notice that when you corrected her, she was like, well, I know that. She's a know-it-all. She's the oldest of the group, so she wants to be the person who knows everything.
Okay, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty.
Uh-huh. That's a relief.
Also, I like the poem. Even though I thought it short, it was really descriptive.
It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. It's usually longer. It's just cold in here. No!
Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Jackson.
Really? I must have totally missed the point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work.
She's starting to blush.
She's been blushing this whole time.
No, she's like blushing more.
Yeah. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past. And
Okay,
soon to be
something
left with
happened.
nothing.
Something happened.
That's a lot. Oh, that's you.
That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
It's nothing really. Yours was more impressive too. So.
Nah. If anything, I probably learned a thing or two from you. I could probably learn a thing.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Jackson.
Me too.
And I think we can stop here, cause yeah. I think we could stop here, and we'll get to Sayori and Natsuki in the next episode.
Okay, see you guys.
Bye, bitches.